Alrighty. 288. 288 days. That's how long it's been since we've been on the mic of a boys' basketball game. The thud of the ball, the whoosh of the net, and, as we've so been accustomed to, the roar of the crowd, which presence makes high school basketball have the energy that it does. Finally, at last, the drought is over. Play now resumes in the Estes Athletic Center as the Catholic Crusaders voyage south to take on the Titans of Trinity Episcopal. Catholic, coming off a season that saw them atop the best teams in Vista, are experiencing a drop-off in form as they have already accumulated half the losses that they had last year in their 40-game campaign. And the Titans, their return to formidable force continues from last year, led by head coach Andrew Blazer, experiencing his own Trinity and years coached of this team, the Titans, whose style of play has so become entranced in what we now consider the modern game. A team chock full of talented perimeter shooters look to defend their home on Dale Travis Court. I'm Ryan Lloyd, joined here by
I
Richard
am Rick Hamlin, yeah. Ryan, awesome intro, got me pumped up. 288 days, as a basketball player or coach, that off season can seem endless, and you just can't wait to get back, especially playing in your home gym. And these Titans, they started practice October 30th, so it's now December 6th. So you're talking 6.5 weeks, I think, that they've been practicing. Maybe that's 5.5 weeks, but on this court pretty much every day, getting ready for the season. And now they finally get to don the home whites and play on Travis Court. And Catholic, despite that 1-3 record that you mentioned, has played a really tough schedule and is a very formidable foe. Last year, a state semifinalist. And, you mentioned their 34-6 record last year. They're actually 34-2 when they got to the state Final Four, lost a close one to Stab in the semis. Then they went up to a highly competitive invitational up in Maryland called the Alhambra Invitational, playing some of the best teams in the country. They did go 0-3 in that invitational against some really strong competition, but, really in Virginia, we're 34-3 last year. So look for a real big test for the Titans tonight, but they'll start with Trinity possession, winning the opening tip, and the first shot of the home slate is a three by Alex Chaikin that doesn't quite go down, and the defensive rebound by Braden Thorne, and he's going to take it all the way and draw the foul.
Yeah, Thorne, one of the captains of this Catholic team. He averaged 10.7 points per game last year and was second team all TCIS. Really going to think that Catholic are going to lean into him, and co-captain Josiah Richards, as they're going to look to take off their season and try and rebound from that start.
Well, and one thing I remember from seeing Catholic play the last couple of years is very physical, athletic, aggressive, and Coach Bobby Steinberg really has them well schooled. I was incredibly impressed when I saw them play Trinity last year down at Catholic. Did not go to the game, but I watched the live stream, and they really crushed the Titans. So Brent Thompson airballed the three, but great effort by Alex Chaikin to save it and keep possession for the Titans. And also down to the other end, that first foul was on Keaton Gregory. Keaton fouled out of the last Titan game at Sleepy Thompson, so that's something to keep an eye on as well. And look like Josiah Richards, who was first team all TCIS last year, and he's at least 3-year starter. I remember when Catholic was here 2 years ago, he made all tournament at the Travis tournament. Still Richards wearing the green of the Crusaders, and he got that steal. Good play run by Catholic there, and Ashton Walker hits Alex Pissis for the layup, and it's a 4-0 Catholic lead. And you see him press and create a turnover. Mason Patrick threw it away right into the Catholic bench.
Yep.
And, one thing, Ryan, you got to say for the Titans is a lot of times in basketball, or any sport, you want to kind of open your season with a couple cupcakes and, build the resume with some easier games. Trinity has definitely not done that this year. Just got back from 3 games at the Sleepy Thompson Invitational, very highly competitive field in Alexandria. Titans went 2-1. I'm sorry, 1-2 is what I meant to say. But all really good teams, and then you bring in a team on your home opener that won 34 games last year.
Yeah.
Shot clock at 2. He just got it off, but missed, did Pissis, and good rebound by Mason Patrick. Another turnover, and for the Titans, that's, 4 possessions, 4 turnovers. They've, I believe, yet to even attempt a shot. And it's going to be the second foul on Keaton Gregory. And one thing, you might have heard me talk about this before, but while in a game like this where the visitors from at least 2 hours away, maybe more depending on traffic, you would think you'd have a huge advantage as the home team, and you can if they come out flat. But sometimes I actually think the team that came on a long trip early on has a little bit of an advantage in the standpoint that they've been in game mode since they left Virginia Beach several hours ago, whereas these Trinity players probably had some downtime after school, maybe went home, maybe took a nap, had a snack, whatever, come in for the JV game. But I mean, Catholic looks more ready in this first 2 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. And Keaton already getting 2 fouls just a few minutes in the game. Tallest player for the Titans, tallest player on the court. It's going to be a huge loss, especially in that matchup against Alice Pissis.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of credit to Keaton Gregory that he's starting these early games as a freshman, but going to have to get used to that. The speed of play. I think both of his fouls were a result of it just went a little too quickly for him, and he ends up fouling, being just a half second behind the play. Just 5 on the shot clock here as Mason Patrick's attempt was blocked, and Titans have yet to get a shot up even onto the rim. Well, there should be one that does hit the rim, but not in the basket. And I actually have to correct myself. Chaikin did have another three-pointer that rimmed in and out earlier. It's going to be a foul on Rickards, and that's a break for the Titans. The top player probably coming in for Catholic, picking up an early one.
Catholic in pretty high press. It's going to leave them open at the back. Taram Nelson unable to convert that layup. Doesn't amount to anything.
Yeah, it was the best job Trinity done breaking the press, and rebound there for Nelson. It's a layup he probably wishes he had back. Very makeable shot. I don't love that shot by Brent Thompson, just because when he shot that 3, all 5 Titans were outside the 3-point arc. You have to make it, or you have no chance really of getting the rebound. And in fact, we end up seeing Nelson crash in for the rebound and ends up picking up a foul going over the back. And that's going to be a travel against Catholic, so you can wave off that bucket. And Ryan, in a lot of ways, I would say Titans are kind of fortunate to only be down 5 here early. Yeah. Catholics missed a couple layups, a couple open threes, just had a basket wiped off. Another turnover for Brent Thompson, and another missed layup, but the follow by Pissis is good. Timeout, Titans, 30-second timeout, and early 7-0 lead for Catholic.
Yeah, this year, Titans haven't really started well in any of their games. Their last game against St. Christopher's, they started out 0-12, going down. They clawed their way back kind of towards the middle of it and halftime, but eventually St. Chris did run away with that game. And they also were down 12 against the Carmel School, a game that they came back and won, their only win of the season. But that game required essentially a game-winning shot made by Brent Thompson with just about a second left on the clock. So this Titan team really needs to learn how to start quicker, and I think some early substitutions as Coach Blazer is looking to kind of figure out what's working, get the ball up the court more efficiently with this full court press. Catholic has 3 players in the Titan half, so they're really looking to take that ball early. Does leave them vulnerable on the other side, though.
Yeah, we see another freshman check in for his first action tonight, Josiah Walker. He's wearing number 20 tonight. They're going to get that foul on Jonathan Lee, his second team foul. And nearly halfway through this first quarter, Titans still looking to get on the board. Good move by Chaikin, but he continues to be scoreless. Josiah Walker putting some good pressure on Pissus, and that's going to be a turnover off the foot of Braden Thorne. Good to see Walker coming in and pressuring a guy much bigger than him, but yeah. Josiah not afraid, just a 5'7", maybe 5'8", ninth grader. Got to get this ball across the timeline, and that's 10 seconds. And now 4 minutes and 18 seconds in, and that's got to be, what, the 5th or 6th Titan turnover. Really disappointing start at the offensive end.
Yeah, Catholic, I think, clearly has done their homework. This team, I talked about it earlier, chock full of great shooters, but in order to get them there, you got to get the ball across the court. Titans somewhat lack that physicality and ability to be physical.
Third rebound for Teran Nelson, so he's holding his own on the boards. I think once Trinity can see the ball go through the basket that first time, hopefully the points will add up. And there it is for the first time, Mason Patrick with a low post finish. Nice follow dunk by Ashton Walker, showing off his leaping ability. No box out, and that doesn't help your momentum when you've just given up, or just scored, I should say, your first bucket of the game. Josiah gets it across the timeline just in time. Another layup for Mason Patrick. And after a long scoring drought, really from both teams, we've seen 3 straight buckets at either end.
Titans in a zone for the most part.
Tough, long shot by Pissus, and I think that long 2 off the dribble, the Titans will give him that all night. Trey Coles takes it all the way, and it's not going to be a timeout by Coach Steinberg and Catholic. And sort of what I was alluding to a few minutes ago, it looked like Catholic was ready from the jump. Took the Titans a little while to knock the rust off and get focused, but nearly 6 minutes into this game, and just a 1-possession deficit for Trinity.
Yeah. Rather consider Trinity pretty fortunate to be down just 1 possession. I think they've been probably the worst team so far by probably a significant margin. Catholic unable to capitalize on a few occasions.
Yeah, Catholic's missed a couple layups and a couple wide open threes, but they didn't do themselves any favors, that last possession. And I've been very impressed so far with Alex Pissus, so I don't want to seem like I'm being too hard on the kid. He's physical, talented, looks like a man out there for sure, just a junior, but his last shot was a long contested 2 off the dribble. I mean, I don't care who you are, that's a low percentage shot, and to me almost equivalent to a turnover, really.
Good defense there by Teran.
Yeah, and maybe just a coincidence, the timing of the Titans' improved play coinciding with the entry of Josiah Walker into the game, but it does feel like he's provided a little bit of a spark with some more ball pressure out around midcourt, and also done a pretty good job getting the Titans into their offense. Thorne was fouled there by Walker, who we were just talking about, and Josiah is going to check out of the game as well. Actually, Josiah's staying in. Turan Nelson goes out. And it's our first look at Isaiah Carter, the 8th grader, making his home debut. And Carter will be the first 8th grader on the Titan varsity since Josh Brown back in 2010-2011. And Brown went on to finish his career as the all-time leading scorer in school history, which that mark eventually did get surpassed by Henry Coleman. But Josh still number 2 on the all-time scoring list. Isaiah Carter, there it is, with a 3, and hopefully the first of many. Josh Brown, I think, ended his career with about 1,900 points. Carter with his first 3 points, at least at home. Not sure if he got in the scorebook up at Sleepy Thompson. There we see Pissis with the follow bucket. Chaikin takes the bump, keeps possession. Tough catch by Mason Patrick and the left-handed finish. And Titans offense, which didn't score for the first 5.5 minutes, now has 11 points in less than 2 minutes. And I believe that's 5 straight possessions with a bucket. And Carter with the rebound. Less than a minute to go in the first half, and the Titans could tie or potentially even take the lead. And Mason Patrick with the and one, and I believe that gives him 8 points already in the first quarter. He had 20 in the first half against St. Mary's Riken last Thursday in the quarterfinals of Sleepy Thompson. So, Ryan, you talked about Titans having a proclivity to get off to a little bit of a slow start, but Mason Patrick has been the energizer, and he misses the free throw, so we're tied. But Trey Coles with the rebound, stick back and one, and Trinity with their first lead of the game, 15-13. And Ryan, if I had told you just about 3 minutes ago that Trinity would take the lead before the end of this first quarter, what would you have said?
You're crazy. I
Could still be true.
I think, well, that perhaps. But yeah.
3-point play there by Trey Coles is completed.
Yeah, huge credit to Mason Patrick. All of his points coming from that same spot, being incredibly physical and willing to really go after it. Also want to point out, maybe after this point, but with an 8th grader and a freshman on the court right now, just kind of that energy, the desire to prove yourself, probably willing the Titans forward right here.
And 3-2, Mason's going to get fouled, and 0.2 seconds left. And Coach Steinberg has got to be beside himself that Alex Pissis picks up the foul, and they're putting Mason on the line. I definitely did not think that was a shooting foul. The bonus. Oh, they changed it this year in high school. It's 5 fouls, no more 1-and-1s as well. So it's been the same system in high school basketball for about 30 years, which is 7 fouls in the half is 1-and-1, as Mason does not take advantage of what really could have been 2 free points. But still, what a quarter. I mean, great start for Catholic. They jumped out to the 7-0 lead. Maybe didn't take full advantage, though, when they had all the momentum and let the Titans hang around. At one point, Ryan, I think we said Trinity was lucky to be within 5, and Catholic just let the Titans hang around, and now the first quarter ends with Trinity actually in the lead, 16-15. And I know I'm about to say something. The last time I said this on a broadcast was at the state championship football game, and it did not prove to be accurate, but I felt it then, and I feel it now, which is, I said, I think we're in for a 4-quarter fight to the finish, a game that's going to come down to the wire. Now, that game ultimately didn't really come down to the wire. It was close, I think tied going into the 4th quarter, but Benedictine pulled away, of course, to their credit, and got that state championship, avenging the losses from the 2 previous years to Trinity in football. But this just, to me, has a feel of a game that I would be very surprised if it's not a single-digit margin of victory at the end.
Yeah, I agree. Gonna see, with Alex Pistis picking up his 2nd foul, it puts both big men, 1 on each team, on 2 fouls. Keaton Gregory not in.
Yeah, Keaton went out with those 2 fouls at the 6:07 mark of the 1st quarter and has yet to be back in. Pretty good D by Isaiah Carter there. And, you know, for an 8th grader, a lot of times for young players, their offense tends to be ahead of their defense. But I was really impressed by how Isaiah was able to cut off his man and force the turnover there. I watched the Titans play at the Sleepy Thompson tournament. And speaking of Thompsons, there's Brent Thompson making his first 3 of the game. And Isaiah looked a little nervous, as you'd expect for an 8th grader, but already to me looks a little more comfortable and confident here on the home court than he did in those tournament games last weekend.
Yeah, one of the things that I was able to experience, speak after this foul, but when I interviewed both Alex Chaikin and Trey Coles, one of the things Trey Coles said to me was how much potential he thought that Isaiah had, and I was really looking forward to developing, and how Trey himself has tried to take on a role to help coach him and really teach him how much different high school basketball is. And I think I completely agree now that I've really seen him in person, how much potential there is there.
No question. I mean, 6'5", with perimeter skills. So really, you know, kind of everything you look for in a modern basketball player, and the potential is enormous for sure for Isaiah. But there's always going to be growing pains when you're a freshman playing varsity, much less an 8th grader like Isaiah is. So that foul down at the other end was the 2nd on Teran Nelson, joining Keaton Gregory, and that makes this lineup really with, I'd say, no true 5-man. Mason Patrick back to that same pretty much spot on the court, yeah, where he scored now 10 points, 5 field goals. Loose ball, good effort by Chaikin, but Catholic does retain possession. Shot clock down to 6 and a steal. Great defense there by Brent Thompson.
Look at the ball now.
Chaikin has range out there.
Thompson. Patrick to the same
Then
spot.
Move, and
it's there.
He just keeps getting to his spot, and now the Titans with a 5-point lead, their largest lead of the game.
I would probably almost guarantee a Catholic timeout should they not score here.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of game time, Trinity scored 23 points in about 5 minutes of action. Over the back foul there on Jonathan Lee. I believe that's his 2nd. And it looks to me also the Titans are starting to get adjusted to this 1-2-2 full court press. Gave them some problems early, couple turnovers, including a 10-second violation. I think Trinity may have caught a break there. From up here, it looked like it may have gone off Chaikin's knee last, but Titans will retain possession, and Keaton Gregory returns with those 2 fouls. We haven't gotten a chance to, I'm not even sure we've seen him touch the ball offensively yet. Good job there by Keaton to go up and get it. Chaikin with a runner. Keaton almost just picked up a third foul. And for the second time, we see Thorne go coast to coast, where he's gotten a defensive rebound and taken it all the way. Turnover by Chaikin, and another layup. And gosh, just like that, 4 quick ones for Catholic.
Within one now. About 5 minutes left.
Got to get it across. Just do, but another turnover. And sort of feels like the beginning of the game again, is a 6-0 run in almost no time. Chaikin for 3, got it. The throwback 3, Trey Coles to Alex Chaikin. As a shooter, you love that pass coming back to you, and not much resistance there as a layup. That's number 24, Rickards, and for a game that started awfully slow, the pace has really picked up.
Trey Coles shot.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
questionable at
gonna.
best.
Yeah, I hate the point guard bringing the ball up, no passes, and just immediately taking off the dribble 3. And it's not like it's a heat check. I mean, he hadn't scored yet. Another rebound for Mason Patrick.
Chaikin wide open on the perimeter. That one, rare miss considering how much space he had.
Miss layup at the other end. Chaikin all the way. And interestingly, both coaches wanted a timeout there, but it's going to be Catholic that got it first. But that's one of those times where you would rather not be first, because each coach was yelling for a timeout, and they're going to go ahead and charge Catholic with a timeout, which will leave them with 3 remaining, and it'll leave the Titans with 4 remaining timeouts. But really entertaining first quarter and a half. Trinity was down 7 and went up 5, now up 2. And it's a big non-conference game. I mean, Ryan, these are the kind of games I can assure you, because I'm on the Vista State Committee that ranks and seeds the teams for the state tournament. These non-conference outer-region games in some ways take on even more weight than a conference game, from the standpoint that your conference games, you're going to play everybody at least twice and potentially even a third time in the tournament. In fact, you could even see St. Christopher's 4 times since we already played them. But this is going to be a team you're going to play once. You're not going to have a whole lot of common opponents, and head-to-head is going to be really big. You know, you look at as Rickards draws a foul there on Trey Coles. If you've been paying attention to the college football playoff, Texas's win back in September against Alabama was like their huge resume builder that got them in. You know, Florida State fans are still angry, and justifiably so in my mind, but in all the discussion, everybody kept saying, well, Texas beat Alabama head-to-head. We see these 2 teams who could be potentially competing for state ranking. You know, maybe they're 8 or 9, and one's going to get a home game and one has to travel. Maybe they're 12 and 13. One's going to make states and one isn't, something like that. So whoever wins this game, it's going to really enhance their resume. And right now, it's anybody's ball game, literally, as we're tied at 28.
We'll see Tram Nelson checking back in for Keaton Gregory.
Yeah, and you know, I think with the Titans being kind of limited size-wise, you gotta, in a game this tight, take some of those risks with the 2 fouls. Mason Patrick, is that 14? I think he has now.
From the same spot. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I think Catholic's been a little more balanced in their scoring. Thorne, Rickards, Walker, Pissis, all 4 have scratched the score sheet. It's an air ball by the junior Joaquin McGrath, who I believe he just made his first appearance, came in cold off the bench and airballed a three right in front of a pretty subdued Trinity student section, but that one got him a little excited. Another steal for Lee. Catholic has definitely had a lot of steals, and that is a bit of a concern for such a perimeter-dominated team like the Titans, where at any time you have at least 4, sometimes 5 ball handlers on the court. I'm pretty concerned by the double-digit turnovers here in the first half.
That pass a long way down as Pissis treks past the three-point line to get that one. Walker now looking to find space. Single digits.
Good D
on the
by
shot
Turan. Got to make sure he doesn't foul. Shot clock down to 4. I don't think he got it off. They're going to play it, though. And, I mean, obviously the officials don't have the benefit of replay, but I really think that was still in the hands of Thorne when the shot clock buzzer went off. However, Catholic got the offensive rebound, and they're going to get a free possession.
Catholic looking to tie it up here with this shot.
Yeah, that's really good offense by Rickards. Getting to his spot, stops on a dime, gets the defender off him, and looked like a pull-up move that he's practiced thousands of times. Brent Thompson with a move he looked like he'd practiced a lot, with a hesitation dribble into the jump stop, left-handed layup, draws the foul. And that's going to be the third on Jonathan Lee. Lee is, I think, the 5th sort of option offensively for Catholic, behind Rickards, Walker, Thorne, and Pissis. But Lee has been that glue guy that every team needs, who really defends really well. So 3 fouls on him is a break for Trinity, and it's going to force Catholic to go deeper into their bench. McGrath comes back in, much to the delight of the Trinity students.
And with these two teams, both of which pretty young, Titans only 5 returning starters, 5 returning players, 3 returning starters. Catholic, again, only returned 3 players. I don't know who started most of them, but from kind of some determination, they only returned 3 players who really played meaningful minutes. So both these teams pretty inexperienced, battling it out right now.
Yeah, I think Thorne and Rickards are the 2 returning starters. And then Burnham also was on the roster last year. What a step back by Trey Coles, TC3. Titans back up to a 4-point lead as we were into the last 20 seconds or so of the first half.
Job there by Alex Chaikin, able to get on hand on that one, prevent the pass.
Yeah, interesting. Teran Nelson stays in, and I think this would have been a chance to maybe get him out, make sure he didn't pick up that 3rd foul before the half. But Coach Blazer's going to roll the dice. And it pays off as great defense by Teran. And ball's still alive. Mason Patrick! And 1! 16 points for Mason with a chance to make it 17. He is, I believe, 0 for 3 from the free throw line, though. 1.9 seconds left.
I mean, gotta say, how ironic would it be? Titans started this game down 7. Mason makes this free throw, and no shenanigans happen. They'll be up 7 going into the half.
Yep. There it is.
First part happens. We'll see.
And Isaiah comes in for Teran, and this is kind of that sub I was looking for before of just don't want to make sure he doesn't get a silly foul. They're going to let Rickards. His shot was blocked by Isaiah Carter. He tried to draw a foul as Rickards, the senior, tried to use his experience and wisdom, and that would have been a really bad foul had they called it, but ref said it was clean. So, yeah, it was the first half of runs for sure, but ultimately we hit halftime with Trinity Episcopal 37, Catholic High School 30. Ryan, before we maybe take a brief break and you and I might have a sip of water, rest our voices for a few impressions from that first half.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just want to echo what you just said about going on runs. I think both these teams, Catholics, starting hot, Trinity not. And then kind of towards the end, I don't feel like Catholic really had any rhythm at all. They were missing a lot of shots earlier, but I didn't, in the second quarter, I don't really feel like they were attempting many. Trinity were able to really keep possession. They'd go down, they'd find Mason. He goes into the half 17 now after that free throw. So Titans really relying on him. Maybe a change from last year. I know they definitely looked for Mason, but probably their main three scoring threats were the two senior co-captains that did graduate, Leland Coleman and Luke Fisher, along with Alex Chaikin, who returns this year, is probably the dominant force and probably the Titans' #1 man for scoring. Patrick looking to probably establish himself. He'll definitely go in the half with that title, but we'll see where it leads.
Yeah, and we don't have a statistician today. I mean, we're saying he has 17 because we've been just kind of tracking it in our heads. But as I think back on the half, I mean, Mason Patrick, 8 field goals made. He couldn't have missed more than maybe 1 or 2. I mean, I don't remember him having hardly any misses. He had a couple turnovers, but I mean, I would say worst case he was 8 for 10 from the field, 8 for 9, 8 for 10, something like that. So really impressive, efficient half of basketball by Mason, and he's definitely led the way. And it did make me feel like I know what I'm talking about, because it's 7-0 down 5 minutes in. I did say I think if they can see the ball go through the basket once, that it'll flow from there. And in the last 11 minutes or so, 37 points after having no points for nearly 5 minutes at the start of the game. All right, well, I still think – oh, go ahead, Ryan.
I was just going to say, just praising not only Mason's offensive reservoir so far, but he's probably the leading Titan rebounder as well. Been in there the entire game. Not, again, we don't have a statistician, but probably 5 or 6 rebounds. So really great job by him on both sides of the court.
Yeah, and I think Teran Nelson has at least 4 rebounds. But I agree. I think Mason is the leading rebounder. And, yeah, hopefully this weekend maybe we can line up a statistician for the Travis tournament. That always makes the broadcast a little more colorful when we can give you exact stats. But we're pretty darn sure Mason has 17 and definitely leading the way. And just I think a lot of credit also to Teran Nelson and Josiah Walker, who came off the bench, and Isaiah Carter, who all came off the bench and gave a spark, all playing their first year of varsity basketball. Yeah, I think we're in for a really exciting second half. That second half will begin in about 6.5 minutes. So go ahead, refill your drink, pop your popcorn, get ready. Should be an excellent second half here from the Estes Athletic Center, and we'll be back in just a few. Stick around.
Alrighty, welcome back everyone. We'll see this game pick off the opposite of how it began. Titans up 7. Captain Alex Chaikin bring the ball up to start the half. See Thompson now, long 3, unable to convert. Turan with the rebound. He'll cut it back up. Missed layup, unfortunate.
Yeah, this first 4 minutes of the third quarter is going to be big, Ryan. I mean, whoa. Alex Pissis was not going to let go of that ball. I just think, I know Catholic's going to come out with an intensity level. Briefly talked to their coach at halftime, who I know a little bit. He went in the locker room for only about 90 seconds. The assistant coaches and the players were in there for another 8 minutes. So Coach Steinberg, I think he got his point across very quickly. Nice reverse layup and a right-handed finish by the lefty, Brent Thompson. Really impressive finish by Thompson there. But I talked to Coach Steinberg for a minute, and he was not pleased with his team's efforts in the first half, and so he said his piece, and he was just sitting on the bench by himself, waiting for those dudes to come back out. And I expect them to ramp up that defensive intensity. We saw that on the first defensive possession, but a good job by Brent to score in transition.
See Taram Nelson pick up his third foul of the night.
Yeah, that's a key, because Turan is giving great minutes defensively, physicality, rebounding. Don't believe he's scored yet, but just like I described Jonathan Lee as a glue guy for Catholic, I think Turan Nelson has been that guy for the Titans, and probably the most physical presence. And he really got a lot of our students excited with his on-ball defense. Great pass there by Nelson. And there we see Mason Patrick from the left side of the basket, and a left-handed finish, and puts him up to 19 with still 14 and a half minutes to go in regulation.
Yeah, that's going to be the trade-off of that pretty pressureful high court press that Catholic is playing. We saw Brett Thompson able to avoid the double team.
Chaikin for 3. Deuce Edwards showing off that 4-4 speed as he celebrates. And Coach Steinberg, we talked about, he was looking for a response from his guys to come out in first minute and 45 seconds or so. He is not pleased and calls a full timeout. I also think a big part of the Catholic game plan was, and they've been fairly successful with it, is take away the open looks from Chaikin. But in transition, nobody found him. Nobody on Catholic found him. The pass was a great one by Trey Coles, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll just kind of go back to what I was saying before I got cut off by Chaikin's shot, which I'm more than willing to let that interrupt, especially if it's made. But yeah, the Catholic engaged in this 1-2-2 press, been highly effective. They had 3 players pushing right out of the gate, trying to get that ball. But Thompson, ball handling skills quite impressive, able to evade, and found Mason Patrick completely wide open, no one even near him to pretty much put in an easy layup.
All right, let's see. Catholic down to only 2 timeouts left. Steinberg didn't make any subs, so it's still the starting 5. Chaikin going to pick up that foul. I believe that's his first.
Titans now 13-point lead.
Biggest of the game for either team.
Catholic scoreless, except that one.
Great D by Trey Coles.
Chaikin looking to go all the way, and does. entire length of the court. Put the lead to 15 now.
Yeah, it's a great finish, and Mason Patrick was the story in the first half, but Alex Chaikin getting going here in the second. Trey Coles with a pull-up. And right now, I mean, the Titans have 4 guys who are scoring. They got Trent kind of doing the dirty work with rebounds, defense, setting screens, and it's a good formula for winning. I think Brent Thompson may have gotten away with a foul there. Great effort by Rickards, and now they are going to get Brent for the foul. Thought he probably fouled on the initial shot there. I could hear the slap from up here, but this is an extra possession, basically just a hustle play by the all-TCIS player, Josiah Rickards, to get that offensive rebound. And Ashton Walker makes the first. Yep, and Josiah Walker coming in for the Titans. So we got Walker at the free throw line. Got another Walker who has just entered the game for Brent Thompson.
Another Josiah playing for Catholic. So
interesting.
should probably just start calling out numbers at this point. Too many similar names. Maybe get one team to speak in a different language. Might clear things up. Never know.
Would not clear things up for me. I don't speak any other languages.
Taram, he'll try and get on the score sheet. In and out for that three-point attempt.
And Taran had to back off a little there. Didn't want to pick up his 4th foul. But a quick 4-0 run and a timeout by Coach Blazer. Wants to stem any momentum that Catholic might be building. Got 4:40 to go here in the third quarter. Titans still up 11, so they've extended that 7-point halftime lead. And I don't think this was too much of an issue last year, but you might recall 2 years ago, Ryan, that the third quarter was like a real bugaboo for the Titans, where even in a very inexperienced team that had not the greatest season in terms of wins and losses, but they had a lot of really good first halves, and the third quarters were rough. And I feel like they mostly corrected that last year. The first game this year was a bad third quarter, but to me that was the key. I said the first 4 minutes, and the Titans have avoided giving up the lead and in fact have added to it. Nice play off the timeout. And that is
Catholic ball. Steal potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it looked to me like Catholic knocked it out of bounds. Coach Blazer did not like the call, and the official did not like the complaining.
Sometimes it goes both ways. There was one
Yep.
earlier in the half that Titans probably got away with. Alex Pissis, great effort there. He'll draw the foul and come to the line for an N1.
Yeah, that foul on Mason Patrick, and I didn't see that one either. I mean, Pissis with a tough finish. Give him a lot of credit for that, but not really sure what the foul was. Good rebound by Taran Nelson.
Passes. Trey looks for the deep 3, gets it. It's going to be his second score of the night. He'll go to 5 points, if I'm correct. It could be wrong on that one.
I think it's 7. I think he has 7.
Do you think
I think he scored 2 in the first half. Then he had that pull-up a few minutes ago.
That's right.
And it was a good-looking stroke by Trey. And that's going to be off of Catholic. A great defensive play there by Brent Thompson. Quick hands. And Isaiah Carter comes in for Taran Nelson. So, again, no really true 5-man in this lineup. Kind of, I think, puts Mason as the 5. Catholic in a 2-3 zone.
Backed away from that.
Well, and I think that's why Coach Blazer put Carter in. Gives you a little more shooting than Nelson. And this guy definitely gives you some shooting. Alex Chaikin, and he hits a 3. The lead extends to 15. And
there
1. Braden Thorne.
He'll do a great job, and ones really do two things particularly well. Obviously, you get the 2 points, but that stop and the realization that you're going to come to line and have the chance to add a 3rd point really shifts a lot of the momentum, especially after such a big shift that just occurred with Alex hitting that 3. Alex, big streak shooter, kind of based off momentum. Saw him miss two 3-pointers, early in the game, but I think has made his last 3 attempts.
Well, and, for Thorne, the senior co-captain, second team all-league last year, I mean, that's a play where that's where you want your senior to step up. Titans have some momentum. Like you said, Chaikin hits the 3, lead up to 15, and Thorne, put the team on his back, so to speak, for a minute there. Now Carter for 3, no good. Ashton Walker, he's going to pull, misses, but Rickards gets the rebound. They're going to call it jump ball, possession to the Titans.
Titans willing to give that perimeter shot to Walker. Well, I think worried about Thorne and Rickards. Able to get the jump ball. They're up 12, just about 2 minutes, 30 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. I think if the Titans can hold on to a double-digit lead here, I think that gives them pretty much anything they were asking for. Here comes that press again. They'll look to trap Thompson on the outside.
Alex Chaikin, not this time, but good rebound by Carter. And 16 on the shot clock. Love those effort plays by the 8th grader. We know about his skill level, but he's made multiple effort plays tonight at both ends of the court. Nice inbounds pass, and there it is for Teran Nelson. That kid deserves a bucket because he's played his tail off, but I believe that's his first points tonight. Now Pistis is going to really go right at Teran. Might have gotten fortunate not to get his 4th foul there. He put 2 hands on the shooter. I've definitely seen that foul called before. Gets away with it, but a good finish again by Thorne. Cuts it back to a dozen.
Patrick pulls up.
Right there from the elbow, and this zone is not working for Catholic.
Yeah. Patrick able to show a little bit of momentum, but that one, definitely no momentum gained by the Titans. They'll drop it back down.
Yeah, it's been lead. Several minutes since either team got a stop, Ryan. I mean, both teams just trading buckets, and Teran keeps that alive out to Brent Thompson. It's the other problem when you're in this zone is just can get challenging to rebound out of because it's hard to find your guy to box out. A rare miss from Mason Patrick, but he does get the rebound, gets fouled, and Alex Pistis, who we just saw with a kind of a monster dunk at the other end, gets called for the foul, and I could read his lips. He said all ball, and Alex, that was not all ball.
Yeah. Come
on. But good foul because Mason misses, I believe he's only 1 for 5 from the free throw line. Trey Coles checking in for Isaiah Carter, and we see another 9th grader, Deuce Mason, checking in for Brent Thompson. I was going to say this is Deuce's first action. I think he actually went in for that 0.2 of a second at the end of the first quarter when there was the foul, when Patrick got fouled.
Effectively.
Yeah, you can't do a whole lot in 0.2, including shoot. You literally can't get a shot up. You have to have at least 0.3 to get a tap. Ram. 3 by Alex Pistis, and cuts the lead to 10. And now they're going to pressure the freshman, and also Catholic has switched back to man-to-man. And it works out here. Steele, watch for the dunk.
There it is.
That's 7 straight for Pisses.
See the Titans there pretty much aware of what's going to happen. No real effort to really stop them. They know that their chances of doing so really not high, so not wanting to give up a foul. Patrick there gives
Another
up a turnover.
steal. He does not get this one off in time, but I think it was a 6-0 run there at the end of the half, or maybe even 7 when you throw the three-pointer in there. I think it was a 7-1 run because Mason hit the 1 free throw, but a good finish, and all 7 of those Catholic points came via Alex Pisses, the junior man-child. I stood next to him for a minute coming out of the locker room at halftime. He's a big dude. And with all that, you know, the Titans got the lead all the way out to 15, right, at one point, but we're pretty much right back where we were at the half, where what was a 7-point lead is 8, but still anybody's game. I definitely stick by my prediction that it's going to be a single-digit margin of victory for either side. Titans in good shape, but with Catholic's ability to turn you over with their pressure, they can score in bunches, as we just saw there at the end of the third quarter. One thing I would also keep an eye on, though, Catholic is not deep. I mean, they've only played 6 guys, and McGrath, the 6-man, has gotten limited minutes. So pretty much, other than Jonathan Lee, I don't think any of these guys have really been out. So fatigue could be a factor. Although I'm sure Coach Bobby Steinberg has these guys in top shape. Last year's TCIS Coach of the Year, and Pisses continues his hot shooting. He's got the last 10 for Catholic. And this is the closest the Crusaders have been in the second half. And now Trey Coles turns it over. Really wasn't really under a lot of pressure. You'd have to chalk that up as an unforced turnover.
I am confident, though, in Trey's ability to rebound, one of the captains of this team. See if he's able to. Thorne now will draw the foul on Chaikin. I think that'll be Chaikin's second foul of the night. The Titans first.
First of the fourth quarter, yeah. It's going to take me a few games to get used to this new foul system where they reset each quarter.
I looked over at the clock and I was like, wait a sec, there's no way either team has a foul, and then I remembered now that they reset them.
Yeah, so that's like what they do in the NBA, and I believe women's college basketball also resets at the quarter.
I will say it is interesting, though, resetting every quarter on 5 fouls, but with only 8-minute quarters, really allows teams to play probably a little bit more physical.
Yeah.
Allowing for, you know, obviously you still can't get more 5 fouls than on one person.
Another turnover, another foul, and you have seen these Catholic Crusaders erase a 15-point deficit in about 3 minutes of game time. Timeout Titans. So Braden Thorne will have an opportunity coming out of this timeout to tie this game. Catholic was down, I believe it was 56-41 with about 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and they've cut it all the way to a 1-point deficit, and they've got all the momentum. A lot of excitement on their bench.
Yeah, they're Gonna look probably to those two captains, Thorne with the chance to tie it here. But yeah, you just said Titans past almost 4 minutes, I think, have put in a combined total of 3 points. I believe a field goal from Mason and then a free throw, I think, as well, have been their only points.
Yeah.
But we will see a substitution coming in for the Titans. Keaton Gregory, freshman, started the game, hasn't played very many minutes as he picked up 2 fouls early on. Thorne will tie the game. Titans.
Yeah, back to their original starting 5, which after the first minute 53, I don't actually think this group has played together since then. As you said, Keaton Gregory picked up his second foul with 6:07 left in the first quarter. He briefly re-entered the game. Great pressure, creates an air ball, and I mean, Mason Patrick is saying, you know, it's a bad shot. I mean, Trey's pressured all the way down the court, shoots a long contested 2, and I understand Mason's frustration there.
Yeah. Pistis trying to set the screen.
And just a wide open layup. As no help defense.
Catholic now in front for the first time, I think, since the first quarter. Their bench is getting loud.
Now, though, we see the Titans running the offense, which they did not do that last possession. Another turnover. And Ashton Walker and Braden Thorne have been impressive defensively. And it's almost like the beginning of the game again. Titans can't even get shots off.
Catholic playing with almost a confidence that can be equated to swagger.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then just they make the hustle play.
Yep. This
possession should have been over. Instead, Catholic's up by 5. And a 15-point deficit to a 5-point lead in just over 5 minutes of game time. 23-3 run by Catholic. Nearly another Titan turnover. And Trinity looks completely discombobulated. Nice pull up by Trey Coles, and that one I like. You get a ball reversal, it's in the flow of the offense. You know, the reason I didn't like the other one, Trey had exerted so much effort just to get it across half court. It's really tough to get into that shot, but that one was a nice in-rhythm shot and a much-needed basket.
Titans now back in a man-to-man with Gregory on the court. Thorne will look out wide.
Euro step by Lee, no good. Good rebound by Alex Chaikin and an impressive save. Ball slipping a little bit. The ball might be wet. I mean, these guys are struggling to control it.
Yeah.
Brent Thompson draws the foul. I believe it's going to be on the floor, I think. And so it'll be the first Crusaders foul of the second half. Turan
Trey?
checks back in.
Yep.
Trey Coles may have jammed his finger.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding his hand. Ouch. Aggressive reach, no call, but Catholic stay on the pressure. That pass intended for Alex Chaikin by Mason Patrick. Fly right past Alex's hand. Titans now down 3, halfway through this final quarter. They're going to look to get a stop here, see if they can halt this Catholic onslaught.
And Rickards, who's been fairly quiet with the and one.
Durham Nelson back in the game. I think that's huge for the Titans. He's able to sit down there in that 5 role. Catholic had some rather easy layups that shouldn't have been easy I think the Rams going to good job of preventing this
Yeah.
from happening. They're back, Catholic back in that full court press. Trey Cole's pass briefly discombobulated, but Titans will get a foul and retain possession.
Well, since Catholic was at around 44 points, I think Trinity's only gotten one stop. Scored 23 points, and pretty much every possession they're getting a bucket. Frequently a three-pointer, and Trinity's turning it over on half the possessions. So the lead for Catholic is at 6 points. The momentum is completely in their favor. And
Job there.
great finish.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Ryan, you used the word swagger. I mean, it's just the body language of these two teams right now is so polar opposite. One team looks together, strong, aggressive. The other just looks on the back foot, but the senior captain for the Titans making an important play there, drawing the foul, getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Give a chance, kind of the Titans to just settle down a little bit, get their best free throw shooter on the line. Coach Andrew Blazer looks like he's not brought anyone over to talk to, but I'm sure maybe some of his lack of words may speak louder than any words he could say. As Chaikin will
Makes them
nail
both,
both
yep.
free throws, drop it to a 6-point game, so just 2 possessions with 3 minutes left. Catholic in no hurry.
I mean, even there's a chance for a stop, and they just out-hustle. I mean, the two Titans watching while Catholic outworks them and gets the save. Lead back to 8.
Patrick looking
Good
to change
finish
it.
by Mason Patrick. Strong finish with the left hand, but, you know, I was about to praise the Titans for finally getting a stop, but it's not a stop until you secure the rebound. Can afford to be aggressive here, with not in the bonus yet. And there you go. That aggressive defense pays off in the form of a turnover. Good job by Brent Thompson to knock it off the leg of the Catholic player, and still just a 2-possession game. Got to give credit to this Catholic bench. I mean, you can probably hear them on your stream calling out defense. Most of these guys have not gotten in the game tonight, but they're not sulking. They're supporting their team. Chaikin, thought he might have gotten undercut and fouled, but they're not going to give him the call.
Thorne. Unbelievable. I mean, you just got to give him props there. That's just quite a finish. Thompson.
Yeah.
Attempt a deep 3 off the mark. Catholic. Ashton Walker with the rebound. Will slowly bring the ball up the court.
Well, that's
with a minute
smart. I
30
mean,
left.
take your time.
Time is running out for this Titan team. Down 8, minute 20 to go. They're going to need a stop here and then probably some threes, which I know they're capable of, but will they be able to execute it?
Missed the
Unfortunate break
layup,
there.
and Trinity does come up with a loose ball. And this fourth quarter, most of the loose balls have gone the way of the Crusaders, but good job there by Alex Chaikin. Still not a shooting foul, just the 4th team foul here in the fourth quarter. Titans have got to get a bucket here with just over a minute to go. Down 8.
Trey Coles.
Trey Coles did draw a foul on Jonathan Lee. I believe that's his 5th. And with the lack of depth for Catholic, I don't believe they've subbed this entire second half. So getting into that bench could prove to be beneficial for Trinity.
Yeah.
As it's going to be McGrath coming in cold off the bench.
Will say, though, Titans going to need a lot to swing this game. Trey makes both free throws. It'll be a 6-point game. That's 2 possessions. But
Hits the first. We see the two freshman guards coming in, try and provide a little defensive spark. Also, they can afford to foul. I don't believe the Deuce Mason has been called for any fouls, and Josiah maybe has one, but you're in a position here with less than a minute down 7 where you got to give fouls.
Yep.
And instead they're going to give up a dunk.
Yep. Game probably out of contention now. That pass is to the Titans student section, so unable to find the mark. Catholic will pick up possession. 42 seconds left on the clock. With
I mean, Trinity
9-point
doesn't
lead.
even get in a press, give up a wide open layup. And this fourth quarter is going to be a lot to learn for these guys when they go back and watch this fourth quarter. Really, I mean, just turnovers, lack of defensive intensity, and not even going to foul. That's it. Hey, huge credit to the Catholic High School Crusaders. They come down here, get down by 15 points, come all the way back, and, you know, I predicted a single-digit margin. I'm wrong. They won by double digits.
Yeah.
Even down 8 going into the fourth quarter. Catholic with a double-digit win. Impressive job by them. And they did it with intensity, defense, and those guys deserve to win. So Catholic improves to 2-3 on the season. Trinity drops to 1-3. Good news for the Titans. They'll be back in action real soon, Friday and Saturday. The annual Travis Invitational. Looking forward to that. I'm sure these guys are looking forward to turning the page and hopefully putting the taste of this disappointing loss behind them.
Yeah.
Ryan, final thoughts?
I just kind of want to give full credit to Catholic. I truly do think. I mean, you got to play your best when it matters the most, and when it matters the most is always the end of the game. Catholic down 15 in the third quarter, able to come back and win by double digits. I think goes to show how much offensive capabilities that they have, but I think part of that blame, I think even blame being maybe a strong word, but goes to the Titan defense and maybe lack thereof. I think Titans, maybe without Toram Nelson in there to kind of offer some physicality, leaves most of that up to Mason Patrick, and he just wasn't able to cover as many people on the court. The Titans really gave up a lot of free layups that I think Coach Blazer wasn't happy about. So definitely not the result they were looking for the Titans, but at the end, they just got to learn how to close out games. I think they weren't able to here. We talked earlier about their started slow in this game, being down 7 in the first couple of minutes, but then pulling it back and then really looking, I don't want to say almost like they were going to run away with it, because obviously they didn't, but with, you know, about 4 minutes left in the third quarter, up 15, you kind of think, hey, maybe this game is one that is winnable, and, you know, you're confident about going into, and Titans just unable to close it out.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever look at ESPN.com, like when a game's going on, they'll have a like a win probability.
Yeah.
In a high school basketball game with a 15-point lead, mid to late third quarter, your win probability
70.
got to be, I was going to say 80. I mean, accounting for the fact that these are probably two fairly even teams. So, again, credit to Catholic for not giving up, and they just showed a lot of maturity, fight, toughness. And Titans have got to learn from this one. You've got to learn how to finish out a game. I do think we talked about Catholic's lack of depth. They barely subbed the whole game, but those guys looked fresh as a daisy down the stretch. And Titans just could not deal with that pressure defense and probably had more turnovers than shot attempts in the fourth quarter. So tough one to swallow for Trinity, but, I mean, it's still the first week of December. Huge, vast majority of the season still in front of us, and just looking forward to the Travis tournament. Hopefully get things turned around. These guys will host Banner Christian Friday night. We will have that for you on TSPN. That's a 7:30 start, but we'll also have the girls broadcast before that. So doubleheader Friday night. Girls at 5:45, boys at 7:30, and then depending how those games go, we'll be back Saturday for the championships of the Travis Invitational. All right, well, Ryan, great job by you from the opening. Anybody who joined us late, before you log off this YouTube stream, rewind back to the beginning. And Ryan, I think, did an amazing job setting the stage. If you're a Catholic fan or a Trinity fan who's not familiar maybe yet with TESPN, I mean, this is a high school student with me here, Ryan Lloyd, and I thought his intro was the kind of thing you'd hear on a national broadcast. So he really did a great job of creating a great atmosphere for the broadcast, and we had a great game. I mean, it was an entertaining game and just didn't end the way Trinity fans would want. Congratulations to Catholic. And that is all for us. Thanks for Ryan Lloyd. Thanks to my man Simon, our producer. Simon Kahn. Yeah, Simon Kahn. I keep wanting to say Simon LeBon, like Duran. Simon Kahn did a great job producing tonight, and it was fun broadcast. Disappointing result. Congratulations, Catholic. Join us Friday night if you can't be here. Thank you. We'll see you next time.